nego što počnemo sa prezentacijom, imam jedno tehničko pitanje. Tko u prostoriji ne govori engleski jezik? Znači, svi možete... Dakle, imamo u prvom redu je cijenjena prevoditeljica, tako da bez ikakvog srama ovdje ima 3-4 slobodna mjesta, svi koji možda se neće osjećati sigurnima, pridružite se, imat ćete privatni prijevod ako treba i molim vas da to onda učinite ponovno bez srama što prije da možemo početi. Hvala vam najviše. Dakle, još jednom, prije svega, dobra večer, Ece. Good evening.
Dobra večer. Dobra večer.
Hvala. I will start in Croatian just to introduce you for a couple of sentences. Prije svega, puno hvala Nakladi Ljevak što je hrvatskoj publici prije čini mi se 6 godina otkrila tu, pa ne mogu naći bolju i jednostavniju reći nego ljepotu kojom piše Ece Temelkuran. Pred nama je knjiga Kako ostati bez domovine, 7 koraka od demokracije do diktature, koja je dobila puno globalnih pozitivnih kritika, ali mislim da je kritika koju ćete dati kada pročitate ovu knjigu biti nešto što ćete sami nositi sa sobom, zbog toga što je recimo mene osobno ovo upalo na puno važnih mjesta od mozga do srca. So, Ece,
Hvala.
welcome to your second hometown, because many of the people don't know that you live in Zagreb.
Yeah, I live in Zagreb, and this feels like living, giving a speech in my living room, so it's a little bit weird, because I normally don't do events here, but in other countries, in other cities, and I always consider this, this city, Zagreb, as home, so you don't give speeches, like perform in your own living room, so it's a, interesting feeling.
We can do deduction or induction today with this book, but for me it's very interesting that we are sitting in a hall that is called Brussels, and we are on the soil of this construction which is called European Union. So in one place, which was London in 2016 after the coup in Turkey, you were asked by one of the colleagues on the panel, after they were very empathetic towards the feelings of people of Turkey being through the coup, she asked you, what can I do for you? And that was basically the starting point for you to start with this book. Can you just tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, sorry. This is it, that story is in the introduction. I wrote another book, which is called Turkey, the Insane and Melancholy. And somehow, I'm normally not that lucky, but somehow the publication date of that book overlapped with the military coup attempt in Turkey in 2016. So I was in London after the military coup attempt, and of course, everybody was wondering about Turkey, what's happening in Turkey, and so on and so forth. So the book caught a lot of media attention and so on. And one of the events was in Frontline Club. It's a journalistic club in London. And I talked about what happened during the coup, what we have been through, and how horrible things are in Turkey and so on. And this feeling that they normally live, mostly live in Western European countries, like as if they are the civilized world and the rest of the world is like barbarian. So the lady, with all the good intention, asked me, so what can we do for you? And ironically, this was the time when Brexit was happening, and also it was the time when Trump came to power. So I asked her, actually, what can I do for you? Because you're not in a completely better situation than we are. And then on, actually, it was almost heartbreaking to watch the same things happening in Turkey, same things happening in Europe that happened in Turkey 15 years ago. It was almost watching a film for the second time, this time in a bigger screen of American politics or European politics. And each time when a statement was made by Nigel Farage in London, or Trump in the United States, or several other right-wing leaders in Europe, I was unescapably reminded by, with, Mr. Erdogan's statements that happened 15 years ago. So I thought, since I am on the periphery of Europe, as if standing in a mountain where you can see both sides, Turkey and Europe, and Western, democracies, I can tell them what had happened in Turkey, how it escalated, and how it was exactly the same in the beginning, like it is now in Europe or in the United States, and then call them to some sort of solidarity, in a way. Because I do believe that this is a global phenomenon. Every country lives right-wing populism or this political insanity, moral insanity, as if it is the first time it happened to them, and as if they are unique and they have to find a unique solution to overcome this problem. But actually it's a global political current, a moral current as well. So we have to come up with a global solution and a political solution, of course.
Let's name these 7 things and then we'll go through it in very detail. What are these 7 things?
When I look at Turkey and when I look at all the European countries that are subjected to this, certain type of political insanity, you call it whatever you want. You can call it right-wing populism, you can call it rising authoritarianism, and you can also call it neo-fascism. And when I look at all these countries, there are actually 7 common global patterns. Each country has its own unique confusions, sensitive issues, complicated history, completely unique backstory, and so on and so forth. But there are 7 common global patterns when we look at the phenomena. And it is first, these movements come to the political stage by saying that they are not a party, they're not a political party, but they are a political movement. And that word, movement, promises some sort of energizing concept and some sort of, it makes a mobilizing effect on the masses. And then they ask for respect. And then they, this is the first step. And then the second step, and another common pattern, is they dismantle the rationale and they terrorize the conversation. I'm sure all of you would remember at least that incident when I tell you that it is almost impossible to speak to those people who wears ignorance and ruthlessness as a badge of honor. Nowadays there are people who think that world is flat. They are, proudly saying that they believe that the world is flat. So, and it doesn't matter if you show them the picture of the planet and say that it is round, because they make a very interesting statement saying that, well, you can, show me that picture until the end of time, but I do believe otherwise, and then you have to respect me. And then this dismantles the entire conversation. This paralyzes the basic human reasoning, and it is an anti-science, anti-reason, route that you're getting into. This is what they do in political sphere as well. They dismantle the political debate, and it becomes impossible to have a debate because they dismiss the basics, consensus of political debate. They dismiss the basic consensus of democracy and so on. This is the second common pattern. And the third pattern, which I find really important, is shamelessness. There is a certain shameless, ruthless attitude to these right-wing populists, which everywhere in the world creates the same reaction from the opposition. And you ask yourself, how can they be so cruel? How can they be so ruthless? How can they be so shameless? It is as if they wear shamelessness as a badge of honor. And recently we have seen this, in Trump's case, in Boris Johnson's case, and so on and so forth. Boris Johnson was not retreating when he was, for instance, a few days ago in British Parliament saying that all the Labour Party members are actually surrenderists, they're actually gobsmacked and so on, gobsmacked, I'm sorry. whatever that word is.
Complex, considering the assassination of Joe Fox, which was another dimension of immorality, which how you call it.
He called a dead woman, he made a slur against a dead woman. So it is beyond our consensus of basic morality. And they do this as if to encourage their followers to follow their lead. So actually they're creating this incredible hostility, incredible violence, and they are encouraging their supporters to be this group of shameless people who are asking for respect for their shamelessness. So this is, I'm of course saying very vague, roughly. These are very long topics, but yeah, this is the third one. And the fourth one is dismantling the judicial and political mechanisms. This comes after right-wing populists seize the power. As soon as they seize the power, what they do is actually to start dismantling the judicial and political mechanisms that make democracy possible. And the fifth one is let them laugh, the chapter title is Let Them Laugh at Your Horrors. It is political humor. In every country, when there is right-wing populism, emerges, there is this amazing, flourishing political humor. We love to laugh at Boris Johnson, we love to laugh at Trump and his, their kind. But then that laughter, although it operates as a political tool in the beginning, it operates to calm our anxieties and to, energize our political energy, political views. After a while, it makes us numb, and actually it starts operating as a shelter that is too comfortable to go out from. So there is a danger in political humor, and we see this in the opposition in every country where there is where right-wing populism is on the rise. And the sixth common pattern is designing your own ideal citizen. Mostly it is, this is mostly done through women. Somehow, all over the world, political leaders, political projects consider women like Play-Dohs. They always start with women. They dress them up, they strip them down, they put them in a certain position, they put them in a certain role. Somehow they think that women can be changed, can be transformed in order to become the ideal role models of the new regime overnight. So right-wing populism starts with women as well. And it starts with a direct attack on their body through abortion rights, through other things, and finally any country actually can end up like Turkey, where women killings have skyrocketed in the last 10 years. The hostility against women is one of the common patterns, and I try to explain why it is so in the book. And the last common pattern is designing your own country. It is always very clear from the beginning, actually, from day one, that it's going to be like that at the end, but we somehow wool gather, we somehow choose not to, accept the fact, but from the very beginning, they start otherization of certain groups, creating mild hostility towards minorities and so on and so forth. But at the end, it comes to designing their own ideal citizen and leaving out all the other citizens out of the ideal citizen circle, which makes them traitors, deplorables, dismissibles, and finally they can also be, outside the country. They can be exiled, they can be imprisoned, they can be whatever. So these are it seems classical, but we are seeing this pattern appearing in a completely different way in today's world. And this is why I wanted to write this book, because there is a certain reluctance in mainstream media in Western countries they don't want to name this, And they want to treat this phenomenon as if it's a passing by thing. It's going to be okay if we, only if we can get rid of Trump. It will be okay if we can get rid of Boris Johnson.
And you're right, I'm sorry to interrupt you about the narrative of this, let's say, political correctness that we are experiencing, not naming these kind of things also.
Exactly. We are, and thanks to the identity politics of 1990s, we learned to be very, very polite. And we think that respect is something close to muteness. You cannot question what you respect, is it? And this misconception of identity politics of 1990s, I think, brought us here when we cannot really question the political convictions of people, even though those political convictions are utterly stupid and totally fascist.
Your writing and your style is kind of, you start mellow and then you hit. And then you start mellow and then you put us, you put us in like in a whirlpool, and then all the questions that we have basically for ourselves every day, being, I don't know, in media, being citizens, participating in something that we call democracy, or just, people who debate on social media, you can see like a dictionary of things that are going on around us. I'm going just to read one short quote. U srpnju 2017. golema se santa odlomila od Antarktike. Informativni programi nekoliko su dana prikazivali snježno bijelo čudovište kako ležerno pluta. Bio je to veličanstveni admiralski brod našega doba koji šapuće se krana diljem svijeta na jeziku škripava leda. Ovo je završna faza doba dezintegracije. Sve što čvrsto stoji, odlomit će se. Sve će se raspasti na djeliće. Nije to bila sablast, nego opipljivo čudovište koje pripovijeda priču našeg vremena. Da od najvećeg do najmanjeg entiteta na planetu Zemlji ništa neće ostati onakvim kakvim ga poznajemo. Osipaju se Ujedinjeni narodi, to golemo, impotentno tijelo stvoreno kako bi čuvalo mir u svijetu, dok se najmanja jedinica, duša, raspada kao nikada prije. Jedna sekunda može se podijeliti na stoljeća, tijekom kojih nekolicina bogatih priprema nezagađene životne prostore kako bi živjeli dulje, dok deseci tisuće djece u Jemenu umire od kolere, bolesti koja potječe od prije 20. stoljeća. Santa je njemo vrištala. Centar se ne drži. Talking about creating a movement in your dictionary, you have some great points that you've made. Fragile me, opposite the question of what is that we, something that you called the real people, of the right folk, if we use the terminology from the 20th century. And you also point out the problem of something that you call mainstream intelligence. I don't know if you call it the left, citizens that are basically being nice and they tolerate the differences, but how is it articulated, the movement that we are witnessing? Maybe you can tell a story about your grandmother here, because for me it's very illustrative when she asked you, or someone calling me a fascist.
Yeah. Yeah, my grandmother was really moved, was shaken when she heard that she was a fascist all her life. Every country has its own narratives, own, sensitive issues, as I told before, own contradicting stories, problems that they didn't solve, they don't want to solve it, they just blanket it, and put it in the deep freezer. So one of the things that this regime exactly did was to bring up all these things and to capitalize on these manufactured hostilities, let's say. They said that from the very beginning, there was a secular elite in Turkey, and they oppressed the real people of Turkey who were actually Muslims, and they couldn't practice their religion. And these elite, they pictured this elite with this really primitive, pejorative, description, saying that, oh, they drink whiskey, they have dogs, and they always dye their hair, as if this, old stupid movies, or cartoon movies, where the evil woman is always, looking evil. So my grandmother started teaching in the village schools, village elementary schools when she was 16. And she always had a hard life, and she always dedicated her life to her students, even more than her children. So when AKP came to power, all the TV programs, all the TV political debates were full of these guys who were blaming these, secular elite, which is, teachers, academics, journalists, politicians, and so on, engineers, whoever is educated is elite. They blame them for being oppressive and humiliating towards, the real people of Turkey. So all of a sudden, my grandmother started asking, am I a fascist now? Why am I a fascist? What is fascist now, all of a sudden? Is it something different than I know? And it created a big amount of tension within the social sphere. And it became politicized, of course, but the social sphere became terrorized with this, division that was manufactured by the political narrative. Maybe it is this kind of, description, this kind of description does not have a place in political life of the country, but it should have. So many hearts are broken in Turkey. Because all of a sudden, there's a project that is established in 1923 with the Republic of Turkey. And then there are generations who dedicated, who devoted their lives to certain ideals, like enlightening the country, giving everything you have to the people, teaching the people, or making the country better, and so on. And all of a sudden, there's a political movement who says that, okay, you are redundant, this project is no more, so you're not needed anymore. You are just useless to our new project, so you can go away, you can stay home and keep silent. It's just, you're not needed anymore, and if you start speaking loud, there's going to be a, real hostility towards it. This is, among being other things, like discriminative, humiliating, so many things, and it also affects you financially as well, economically as well. But above all those things, it's very, very heartbreaking. A certain percentage of the population in Turkey was heartbroken, actually, after this, including me, because I am also somewhat the fruit of a secular Republican project. As many friends are, even though we are criticizing that project, we are the fruit of that project. So it is really heartbreaking. You want to do a lot for your country, and then they say, no, 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 we don't like you, and we don't need your love either. It's like a unreciprocated, it is a one-way love, sort of. It is quite heartbreaking.
You detected some two elements, basically, that are emerging through that. One you mentioned, that real people ask for respect, and the other one is some kind of fake victimization of them until that point they are kind of taking over the public space.
Well, we have to accept that right-wing populism is a phenomenon that is rising from the collapse of neoliberalism. This is a moment of crisis. The old is dying, and the new is not born. And as Gramsci said, there are some morbid symptoms when the old is dead and the new is not born. So we are going through that period. Democracy, as we know it in 20th century, is collapsing. International and national bodies are collapsing entities. And neoliberalism is collapsing. It's not me saying it, it is the people in Davos, it's IMF, it's World Bank, all the reports say that it's not sustainable and it's coming to an end. So, right-wing populism is a phenomenon that have risen from that. It's emerged from that chaos, from that crisis. So there is a real victimhood. There is of course we know that there's real victimhood because there is no social justice in today's democracies, and that's why they are collapsing anyway. And we lost our triangulation point, one of the most important triangulation points, and it was human dignity. And so on and so forth. So there's a crisis and there's a real victimhood, so extreme inequality, and also with the climate crisis and other things, wars and so on, there's immigration, there's real victimhood. But the real political power of right-wing populism does not come from that real victimhood, but the manufactured victimhood. One of the common patterns of right-wing populism in every country is these right-wing populist leaders talk about pride. They always talk about pride and how our pride is broken, how we're going to mend it, and how we're going to be great again. This somehow affects people because their dignity is broken. Because this system is promoting indignity, and it's stealing away the dignity from people. Although these two words, pride and dignity, they sound very much alike, they're actually completely different from each other. Pride is a word that invites hostility, violence, and vengeance, and so on. Whereas human dignity invites love, embracing, it's an embracing word, and it invites justice as well. Unfortunately, this broken dignity is now politicized by the right-wing populists through the word of pride. And it is a very dangerous thing, and this is one of the countries where people would know it best, how dangerous it can get.
Before we talk about another thing that is problematic and which you detect very well, and this is kind of attack on human reason, before we go on to the morale, I would like to ask my colleague Petra to help me read.
Aristo.
Yes.
Aristo going crazy.
So you can tell us what we are going to read now.
For years I had to watch these TV debates. Politicians, right-wing politicians with their, this dominating and patronizing smile, and the other guys, the opposition, going completely crazy, feeling helpless, and so on. And at some point, I thought I had to decipher it. What's happening here? The main logic behind all this, repeating insanity. So I came up with this fictitious dialogue between Aristo and right-wing populists. So Aristo is saying, the Socrates is human, all humans are mortal, so Socrates is mortal. Yeah. So they're talking about this basic deduction.
Dakle, ja ću biti Aristotel, a kolega Pavić će biti populist. Svi ljudi su smrtni.
To je totalitaristička izjava.
Vi ne mislite da su svi ljudi smrtni?
Vi to mene se slušavate. Samo zato što nismo građani poput vas, nego narod. Znači da smo neznalice, jeli? Možda i jesmo, ali poznajemo stvarni život.
To je nebitno.
Naravno da je vama nebitno. Godinama ste vi i vama slični vladali ovdje, govorili da je narod nebitan.
Molim vas, odgovorite mi na pitanje.
Pravi narod ove zemlje misli drugčije. Naš je odgovor nešto što se ne može naći ni u kojem elitističkom rukopisu. Dokažite mi da su svi ljudi smrtni. Vidite, ne možete dokazati. U redu je, Jasno nam je da se u demokraciji sve ideje mogu predstaviti u javnom prostoru i sve su jednako poštovane. Bogovi kažu...
To nije ideja, to je činjenica i govorimo o smrtnim ljudima.
Da je po vašem sve biste pobili kako biste dokazali da su svi ljudi smrtni. Baš poput svojih prethodnika.
Ovo ne vodi nikamo.
Molim vas da dovršite svoje razmišljanje jer moram reći nešto važno.
Svi su ljudi smrtni. Sokrat je čovjek.
Tu vas moram prekinuti.
Molim?
E pa moram. Danas je, zahvaljujući našem vođi, posve jasno tko je Sokrat. Znamo mi jako dobro tko je Sokrat. Više se ne možete zavaravati, više nas ne možete zavaravati o tom pokvarnjaku.
Šalite se.
To za nas nije šala, gospodine Aristotele, kao što je možda za vas. Sokrat je fašist. Moj je narod napokon shvatio istinu, pravu istinu, što je previše, previše je. Više ne možete zavaravati ljude. Htjeli ste reći, dakle, Sokrat je smrtan, jel tako? Dosta nam je vaših laži.
Odbacujete temelje logike.
Poštujem vaše uvjerenja.
To nije uvjerenje, to je logika.
Ja poštujem vašu logiku, ali vi ne poštujete moju. To je danas u Grčkoj glavni problem.
Hvala, ne samo u Grčkoj.
Well, this is sort of funny when Aristo and right-wing populists do it, but actually this is what we see every day on TV, you know, in political debates. This is what's happening. And, you know, after this dialogue, actually, I told in Latin words which basic rules of debate is dismissed in the conversation. So, yeah, it's not only fun, that's why I wanted to say that.
It's not fun at all. And then, above all that comes something which is called social media. With, I read the translation, učenje neznalice, so please help me with English translation, how would it be? The ignorance who know things, I don't know, how did you write it in original? When you talk about proud ignorance and people like, you know, their ignorance, but they have their opinions in the debates, and you hold that kind of space that we're witnessing, you know, the sword game with ghosts, and, you know, trolls that are doing basically the colonization of the area of political communication today, and they're kind of, we are sucked in that. So how do you fight it with rationale, or can you fight it with rationale?
Of course we can. Lately I'm thinking about the history of science. You know, when electricity was first controlled in European, you know, rich European houses, they were seances of magnetism. So it was new. Controlling electricity was new. So they were thinking, they were mystifying electricity in a way. So I think the invention, the history of invention and discovery is also the history of fear of invention and discovery as well. There are times when we invent and discover something, and then we try to regulate it, and then it becomes normalized, sort of. Now we invented this social media thing, and we are trying to regulate it. And so far, all over the world, there is no political power that can regulate it. Australians tried to regulate it, it didn't happen. European Union tried to do it, it doesn't happen, because it is bigger than our current political institutions. So this is the problem of 21st century. We have institutions that goes back to 20th century, democratic institutions, and we have communication skills which are 21st century. So we are trying to integrate actually these communication skills that we newly found into the 20th century understanding of democracy, and it doesn't happen. Today I was telling to a friend actually, you know, these, I'm sure there is in Croatia as well, this Britain Got Talent sort of reality shows that you can vote with your iPhone. You can vote with your iPhone to the candidates of these competitions, but you cannot penetrate your parliament with your iPhone. This is an interesting contradiction, I think. You can do anything with your iPhone, but you cannot still, you cannot do elections, you cannot influence the political system, which is inconsistent with the reality. So we are on the verge of finding a way to integrate this newly found communication skills with our existing system. And it's not easy. We are trying to do that. And meanwhile, there are accidents. And one of these accidents was Cambridge Analytica, for instance, during Brexit, or Trump's election in the United States. These are big road accidents, of course. But it is an accident, actually, when you look from afar, it is an accident of a new invention. But we are going to find a way to regulate social media, and then on, we can use it for democracy, for a better democracy, in fact. And I do believe that we can do it, because all this immorality that social media creates is damaging our faith in humankind. Because, as you know, the worst examples are always more attractive. You know, it kind of seduces you. You want to see the worst examples. Your attention is attracted towards the worst examples. And we keep on seeing the worst examples, the bad examples of humankind. And we are constantly subjected to the bad examples. And by time, it makes us cynical. And it makes us think that it's human evil. And this is a horrible question. This is a very wrong question. It's a very dangerous question as well. So we will find a way to regulate this, but right now it's not happening, obviously.
You also talk about defending the truth today in this kind of world. So how can we defend the truth, the facts in this post-truth world where you call a lie an alternative fact?
Well, we have to come to the terms with the fact that truth is a political thing, as all things are. Political and moral concept. So, neoliberalism, I explained in the book, neoliberalism since 1980s created this open buffet of ideas. And fascism is another idea in that open buffet, as if. Or, immorality is another option in that open buffet. So we are living in this kind of environment since several decades. But now, we are seeing that this is not sustainable, not politically, not morally, and not economically either. So we have to go back to the singleness of truth, but we have to realize that we have to have political power to defend the singleness of truth. It is not a given thing. We have to have a political power to make people accept that the world is round. And it will come to that. We will have to have power to make people believe that the world is round.
You talk and you write a lot about the morale. You say that morality has been basically banned from our public life, or it's a huge question, do we still have some common values in our world? You write about an example of emancipation of the people through the stories of the war. So how was it in the time of Vietnam War, and how was it now in the time of, CNN, mass media? You have a very nice description. Split screen is a split perception of catastrophe, and basically that we don't react to the evil as you would expect from a human being.
Well, writing about morality is a very dangerous thing, because morality is always, not always, but very much monopolized by religious realm. So, you can anytime step over to the religious realm, which I don't want to do. I am in search of a secular morality, and I am asking myself, is it possible to you know, make a secular morality the dominant ideal for the humanity and so on and so forth. The new book is going to be about that, I think. But yeah, these are all imposed values on us. And I think neoliberalism is extremely successful, making us forget that there is an ideology, in fact, operating and dominantly operating. And it became so successful that it made us forget that it is an ideology, and actually it is a very recent ideology. You know, recently, you know, it was thrived recently. So it was it was impossible to think that there would be a journalist on the Hungarian border kicking a refugee child in 1970s. It would be equally impossible in 1970s to give an award, humanitarian award, by the way, to the same journalist for her work. This is beyond immorality. This is awarding the immorality. So, how did we come to this? You know, it's not a simple nostalgia. Things were really better than this. 1970s was better than this, but then 1980s, the wall falling down in Berlin, several other things, and neoliberalism decided that it is the end of history, and this is the best that human mind can come up with. This is the best economic system, this is the best cultural system, this is the best set of moral values. Well, it is not. And this is against reason anyway, to think that there is an end to history, there is an end to progress, there is an end to ideas and so on. So I think we have to all remember that this was imposed on us. This is an ideology, and there can be another ideology as well. So the normalization is so immense that it made us forget that actually we were forced to do this. And not only we weren't politely convinced to do this, to live in this system. In my country, there was a 1980 military coup which made the country into a free market economy. People had to be killed, people had to be tortured and imprisoned and so on. In European countries, it was done in another way. You had war and so on. So yeah, so there was blood. People bled, not for this not to happen, but it happened anyway. So let's remember that we were in fact once political subjects, not objects.
Talking about that important Gramsci waiting for new things to happen, you're right about that, you know. Are we going to reorganize our financial protection and economic relationships? I'm going to read a quote. Važno pitanje u srži stvarne moći populizma tiču se reorganiziranja financijskih transakcija i ekonomskih odnosa. Jesu li novi ekonomski pobjednici brojni i dovoljno etablirani da zahtijevaju nove političke predstavnike, te jesu li ekonomske mreže koje grade dovoljno jake da populističkim vođama kreiraju zaštitnu mrežu kako bi se ovi dokopali državne vlasti? Dakle, we do have people who are in power from the, you know, this populist way, and you talk about the creation of their own citizen and attack first on women, which you mentioned. I have to notice that basically 89% or 92% of this audience we have here this evening are women.
I haven't noticed that.
I like it because one of the things you write, that one of the people who can be, you know, fighters for the future, generating this change are these new women that we meet every day who are not in the media, who are somewhere on the streets of different towns fighting for their thing. Here in Croatia, we're also experiencing a lot questions that are basically in that cup of deteriorating women's rights, from public misogyny being normalized in the public sphere to trying to reduce reproductive rights and things like that, which you experienced in Turkey.
Well, the 8% in this audience, according to your calculation, might like this, what I'm about to say. Manhood is a very difficult thing. I wouldn't want to be a man. It requires a lot of performance, and it requires a lot of fake performance as well. And we are going through some time. Being a woman is really hard because they simply kill you. And the reason that they kill you is because they can. Full stop. There is no deep reason there. But being a man is very hard today because what is the definition? You know, the definition of being men or the definition of manhood is changing dramatically. And I'm following this everywhere I go. There are men knitting. There are men, you know, in the playgrounds. There are men, you know, taking care of the babies and so on. And it's not easy for them because there would be a lot of women who would find it very, you know, turn off, sort of. It's like super unsexy and so on. Not manly. So we are in the verge of what, you know, as a globe, we are trying to find out what is man, what is woman in this age. And we are also going beyond binaries, binary thinking. You know, there are in-between sexes, there are transgenders, and so on and so forth. It is a damn difficult time because we can now change our sex. This is the first time in human history. It is not, what we are going through as humanity is not easy at all. Like the planet is going towards the doomsday, and it's a matter of time that the entire thing will explode. There are no women and men now. There's the social media. We don't know what truth is, what is fact is. We don't know what to trust, and you know, not trusting is the rule now. And also, people are displaced constantly. They have to leave their countries, their continents, and so on. This is and democracy is failing, and also economy is failing. This is like a pretty bad timing to be in the world. Unfortunately, it came to our generation. It's, you know, we won the lottery to win, you know, to live in the most interesting times of the planet Earth. So, but you know, I make a moral decision to believe in human beings, and when I say that, it doesn't mean that human beings in general convince me to believe them. No, actually it's vice versa. They're not really convincing. But it's a moral decision because it makes me a better person. It makes me a full person to believe in humankind. So I am trying to push this idea, let's believe in human beings again, because otherwise we're not going to get out of this shit. And while saying that, I have a little bit, I'm leaning towards women more, because this is the first time in human history we have this much of education, we have this much economic power, we have this much of multiple experience, and for the first time in human history, women are not embarrassed of being powerful. This makes a great difference. You know, it's even now in popular culture. There are perfumes called "Girls Can Do Anything." You know, Benetton is, you know, producing these things like, "You're powerful, you're strong." All those mottos or those slogans are like really empty. Why are you strong? What are you going to do with the power? Nobody talks about that. But still, you know, this is the first time this "I am powerful" thing is happening to women. And I do think that future will be female. That doesn't mean that women will rule the world. And that doesn't necessarily, female does not necessarily mean women either. But we're all going to be more female. And by female, I mean being fertile. And by fertile, I mean regenerating life. In everything, in the earth, in the politics, in our morality, we are going to be more leaning towards life and producing more, not consuming, but producing more. what I imagine as female is this. And that is why I say yes, which, you know, when people ask me, when I talk about all this depressive stuff, there's always one person in the audience asks me, so where's the hope, and so on, and I told it about the hope. If you really want hope, which I'm not a great believer in the word hope, by the way, but if you really want to see hope, follow the women, follow the young women, because they're going to do something different that we haven't even imagined yet.
And the faces of women who are empowered in today's world, as it was your face on one of the debates when you said to some men, why did you become so cruel, was the face of anger. So women now can be openly, finally angry at what we saw at your public speeches, what we saw at Greta Thunberg, for example, today, what we saw in British Parliament as a reaction to Johnson's speech and kind of diminishing what importance of political killing of Joe Fox. And this kind of society doesn't handle the anger of women that well.
Yeah, I don't like to be angry though. I hate myself when I'm angry, and it is killing me more than the enemy. Actually, it's damaging me more. So I am not a big fan of anger, and I don't want anger to be mystified and, you know, popular. You know, I don't want it to be honored or, you know, awarded, because anger is not a very sustainable thing, and it damages yourself a lot. So. But yeah, we now have the right to be angry. Yeah, nobody says that you are frigid, or I don't know, what was the other word? There was another sexist word for that. Yeah.
We discussed it the other day about the buzzword of the day, which is empathy. Do you think that is the word without meaning if we talk about this new movement, or what can, you know, empathy bring or take away from the situation we have today that you describe in the book?
Yeah, the knjige told something like, dialogue, fuck dialogue, I don't want dialogue. Empathy is a primitive thing. In order to understand someone, you don't need to be in their shoes. You don't have to be in their life, and you know, you don't have to be in their state of mind, whatever. And I think this is one of those popular discourses in order to evade politics, in order to get out of politics, in order to dismiss political discourses or political concepts. People are coming up with these, you know, words: empathy, humanitarian intervention, as if there is such a thing, you know, and several other things. And this is all because people are so afraid of political confrontation. It's all about balance and consensus now, because since neoliberalism is the end of history, we don't have to discuss anything anymore, so we can all agree on one thing. So it's only a matter of time and a matter of the language you use and, you know, the attitudes you adopt. That's it. I mean, there has to be no content there either. So there is this mystification of consensus in the last decades. Everybody is so afraid of antagonism, but the problem is, if there is no antagonism, there is no story. You cannot create a story without antagonism, therefore you cannot build, you cannot organize humanity.
Talking about, okay, we were going to finish a couple of minutes and we have time to sign the books and have a drink afterwards. When you talk about carnival, about the book, what is carnival?
Political carnival. Yeah. First of all, when I say political carnival, carnival is not always a, you know, fun thing. It is also a bloody thing. It is chaos. It is unorganized and so on and so forth. And this carnival, the political action should be carnivalesque. Understanding has been very dominant since 1980s, 1970s even. And all of a sudden, we started creating carnivals rather than political action. And, you know, we try to promote politics as if something fun. You can have fun here in political protest. And then it became only fun, but no content at all. So this is something very important, I think, when we are about to find a new way of protest, a new way of politics, something to consider.
You don't offer us the solution, but through this kind of introspection, and you leave it to us to make our own decision, either for action or for deeper introspection, before getting away from our narratives and context, what you basically did, and you like.
Well, I just wrote the book to save the people the time and energy, because all the confusion that right-wing populism creates consumes people mentally and emotionally. And I wanted to tell them, you don't have to think about it that much. This is what's happening. So, whatever you do this according to this, because this is what's happening to you. You don't have to feel paralyzed, you don't have to feel helpless, you don't have to ask yourself, why is this happening, my God, and so on and so forth. This is why the book is there. And the answer is coming up in the next book, hopefully, inshallah.
Inshallah, and I'm waiting for your another book. I don't know which of these two. Should I read the one that, is there a place, I don't know where, anywhere, where I can get away from it? Or should I read the one with the bird on the edge of the savannah?
No. Okay, go ahead. Your choice.
I'll read this. Zbijanje redova i zajedničke akcije kao u našim karnevalskim prosvjedima postaju sve teže. Ne toliko zbog opresije, nego zbog paralizirajućeg straha od sramoćenja. Jer nisu prijetnje smrću ili silovanjem ili činjenica da vas 1000 ljudi pretvore u metu, u izdajicu koja je sljedeća na redu da bude zatvorena ono što vas dira, koliko strah od ismijavanja. U određenom trenutku čak i prijetnje smrću kao da vam ostavljaju nešto dostojanstva usporedbi s ruganjem koje vam ga potpuno oduzima. Negdje usput dođete do bizarne spoznaje da vas je, dok s ponosom možete pokazivati ljudima prijetnje smrću i silovanjem kad je riječ o ruganju, sram da to podijelite čak i s prijateljima, jer uvijek postoje izgledi da jedno ili dvoje njih neće moći potisnuti kihot. A to bi vas ubilo brže nego bilo kakva prijetnja smrću. Sad zamislite da vam se na kraju godinama na taj način rugaju ili odbacuju vas i mogli biste shvatiti zbog čega je li to moja zemlja na posljedku. I većim dijelom potajno vodi do postoji li mjesto, ne znam, negdje, bilo gdje, kamo mogu obići od ovoga. E sad, možemo svi pobjeći ili možemo ostati na ovome. Ja vam ostavljam da vidite na koji način je naša večerašnja gošća došla do svoje nekakvog introspektivnog odgovora. Thank you so much. It was really a pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you so much for doing this. And thank you for coming. Thanks a lot.
So anyone who have a book can